Hello, my friend. I pray that this finds you well from wherever and whenever you are tuning in, and a very happy month of February, or should I say, month of love to you and yours. Matter of fact, on Valentine's Day, which is typically dubbed as Love Day, myself and a couple of friends are hosting a virtual event where from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Time, we will have ourselves and other thought leaders come in and expound on the subject of love, which unfortunately over Valentine's Day tends to be confined to the narrow lens of romantic love. But hopefully, you will agree with me that we are in a season in our country, in our world, where the message of love, of unconditional dignity and respect for all is so much needed, right? Over, say, maybe the narratives and the reasons that we are so good at coming up with, over which to be divided. So I hope that you will put that on your calendar and plan to join us on Love Day, February 14th, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Tune in and let's together build that conversation. But anyway, before we get into ideas about love and expounding on love, allow me to leave you with one more idea on the subject of identity, which I really touched on in the month of January. Why? Because in the month of January we have pressure to perform, to set goals, to achieve. But if all that is not centered on the core of a healthy identity, it's no different than building a tall structure on sinking sand. So today's topic, if you will, is your highest purpose for 2026. Now, what if I told you that your highest purpose in this year is not to become anything? It's not to do anything. It's not to achieve or possess anything. It's not even to give anything. What if I told you that your highest purpose in 2026 actually involves doing nothing? I remember many years ago listening to an audio series by a teacher named Andrew Womack on how to discover the will of God. And he dropped a truth that has really shaped my perception and my perspective ever since. He said God's will over your life does not involve doing anything. It's not about doing anything. God's highest will over your life is to be. And allow me to add, it's to be like Him. Andrew Womack went on to say that that's the reason you and I are not called human doings, we are called human beings. And so today I came maybe to suggest that aside from maybe all achievements and accolades and growth that you and I will experience in this year, and we should, that God's highest purpose for you and I is to rest in who we are already in Him, is to manifest that which we already are as human beings created in the image of God, and to manifest that authentically, because you know what? You're the only expression of God like you. I am the only expression of God like me. And so, my friend, because I know that we are always conditioned to perform and to do something, in my own observation, reflection, and experimentation, I've come to find that the best way to be is simply to breathe. Breath, I think, is one of the highest expressions, not just of our divinity, right? I know it's a figure of speech, but scripture says that God breathed into you and me, and we became human beings, and that's God's breath in us, God's spirit in us. is what makes us different than everything else in all creation. Your physical breath, that's the first thing that you do when you hit the ground in this world, and that's the last thing that you do when you exit. There is power in breath. There is flow. There is spirit. There is essence in breath. Number two, our breath is a reminder of God's presence. It's a reminder of God's abundance. It's a reminder of God's unconditional love. When you are awake and kicking butt and making the world great again, performing, achieving, you have a supply of God's breath. When you are unconscious and asleep doing nothing, you have breath. Breath is available to a newborn that has not achieved anything, as it is maybe to that old person that is waiting to transition. Breath is available for the saint as well as for the sinner. Breath is available on your best day. Breath is available on your worst day. So the next time you feel the pressure to perform, to seek approval, whether that be God's or maybe that of a fellow human being, or even from yourself to prove to yourself that you are worth something, I pray that you will actually pause and take a deep, conscious breath as a reminder that you are loved, that you are provided for, that you are divine just because of who you are, apart from anything you can do, apart from anything you can achieve, apart from anything you can give. And so, my friend, that's the word I have for you, that your highest purpose in this year actually is not to do anything, but it's actually to be. It's actually to be who God has called you to be, to rest in who you are in Him, a unique expression of His image. And if in those times you maybe are looking for something to do to help you remember that and to anchor you in who you are, just be, just breath. That's it, my friend. Until next time, the Lord be with you and bless you. Bye-bye.